I was inspired by these beautiful colors we saw on our recent hike. Before I started painting the leaves, I decided to swatch out my colors and also see how they work in combination with one another. So that green and that pink, when combined, will give me that beautiful kind of a dusty rose color. Also keep in mind that once the paint dries, it will be a heck of a lot lighter. But I'm using very transparent colors here, so a sap green and opera pink or quinacridone magenta. They all have very similar properties, which means that they will blend beautifully with one another, and they will be used as glazes, and once they're sitting next to one another, they might retain some of their original color, but by blending, they will give you a completely different color as well. So it's just a matter of playing with them, and this was the point of this entire exercise. So I'm not going to be painting the little veins in separately. I will just grab an etching tool and pop that in really easily. But the point is to learn how our colors do react with one another. Putting green first and then laying pink on top of it gives you a completely different look than if you were to switch the colors around. So here I do have the pink, and by putting the green on top, it does give you a completely different feel. Now notice here that I lifted that color beautifully because it's a non-staining color, another benefit of this particular one. And again, using the etching tool just to easily pop in those veins. Now, watch what happens when I throw in a surprise. I have a cadmium green here, which is a very opaque color, and I'm going to pop it on top of the leaf. And look what it does. It will not move, it will not blend, it will just sit on top. Now I'm going to try using this to a minimum because I don't want to overwhelm the entire painting. I will return to using my transparent colors, and I will reserve that for highlights and little details at the very end of the painting. Now I do have 3 leaves on the very top here that I had drawn in. Those ones I'm not going to give too much attention to because not everything should be in perfect focus, so I will definitely leave those as just part of the composition, but not too much detail will be applied. Now this leaf here in contrast will be one of the focal points. Therefore, I will give it a lot of attention. I will put in the veining with the darker color, and this will be done in several layers. I do want it to remain pink, but all the shadows will be painted by adding a little bit of a green glaze on top of the pink, and that in itself will just make it darker. They're complements to one another, and it will just automatically give me a really realistic shadow. The more contrast that I leave between the leaf above it and the pink one below will give it even more drama. So always remember that bit of contrast in the most important area of your painting. I do plan on putting in a background, so I will start painting leaves in different colors. Now here's where you can really amp up that color variation. So I'm using Hooker's green here. A combination of Hooker's green and sap green will actually give me a lovely different green than what I've used in previously. So lots of pink, lots of green as well, and then I will combine the two in the end to form a brown, which will also become the background to the entire area. So there's going to be a lot of negative painting. Because I want the eye to be drawn towards that center, I'm going to put quite a bit of interest there, and the top area I will leave pretty untouched. And you can add as much detail as you like at this point, and it can just go on forever, but I think I'm going to wrap it up here, and I hope that you will enjoy it and you will give this a try. I've already established how I'm going to frame it, and I think will be a lovely piece to add to my little collection.